All right, so now we're going to go through what we talk about with the parents. It's pretty exciting going through the process, so let's get to work on this one. So the first thing we do is we lead out in the meeting trying to create value and also to establish ourselves as a valuable resource to these families. So we're going to start out with the first part of our college planning booklet. They receive a copy of this college planning booklet at no cost. It normally costs me $1.50 to maybe $2.50 in order to get this booklet printed out. If you've got an office that has free printing, then it costs them, doesn't cost you. So, but this is what we do. We normally print this out and have a sample booklet. So we suggest that you go ahead and print out one, put it in a 3-ring folder, and then this will be your overall presentation booklet that kind of walks you through how to explain the value of what you do in that first appointment. Okay, so this is what you're going to present in that first appointment. So you'll go through and say, hey, in this college planning booklet, we give it away to all the families that's involved in this program, and it helps kids that are age 1 through kindergarten all the way through their high school 12th grade year. So you'll come in here and you'll notice it'll say calendar early awareness. So you read to your child, read with your child, share the excitement of learning, explore the world with your child, encourage your children's interest in creativity, yada, yada, yada. And then it goes through, that's from 1 through kindergarten. Then it goes through the 1st grade, 2nd grade, 3rd grade, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th grade. They can actually start writing essays for scholarships at age 13. We show them that through the software. They will keep those scholarships back into a portal until they graduate from high school, and then that money will be awarded to the school that they choose to go to for college. Then we have their freshman year and sophomore year, junior year, which is a little bit more extensive, going into ACT test prep, which we kind of want kids doing at their freshman year, and then also the 12th grade. So you'll see there's a whole lot of things. And then also in here there is a breakout of what they'll do when they take their college visits. So they'll have a college scoring system, and they can assess a score to the schools that they go out and see. And so they can do that here, and that'll break out academic facility. They can score 1 through 26. As far as importance, and then give her an overall score, and then they can do an evaluation of that total score of that school to kind of help that child make an assessment of which school is best. So they're going to do that starting out, and we explain that in the booklet. Then part 2 of the booklet is here, and in this portion we're going to walk through the top endowment funds that are out there, top 100, so they can see that those schools actually have endowments to help offset the cost. So if you have a family that makes too much money, they don't qualify for financial aid or grants, then they want to get endowments, which is money that they still don't have to pay back. So we walk through that, your college profile, and this is more so for the juniors and seniors, ACT and SAT. You see that in there. How to prepare for that, extracurricular activities, career planning. We love some of the tips that's here. So it's personality traits, what are you interested in? So we're going deeper into those that are actually getting ready to graduate from high school. And then you rank the importance of what your career choices are. So they kind of walk through that. And this is all in the booklet that you're explaining to them up front, just trying to create yourself in their eyes as an expert, top 100 careers, top 100 majors. And then what we do is teach them how to network. So my daughter's 14. I had her go to a advertising agency because she wants to be in digital media, and she's already started to talk to people about internships. And so she took their information, put it in her phone, and every quarter we want her to find an article or to find a video that speaks to digital media and send it to everybody in her network. And she's not going to ask for anything. We're just teaching her how to find items of value and share that information with her network. By the time she graduates from college, we want her to have anywhere between 35 and 50 people that she's actually networked with over a 3 to 5 year period. And by doing that, she's going to be able to hopefully get a job from someone in her network, someone that's been tracking her and seeing that she is, pretty much upcoming professional. So in order to build a network, we teach them through this booklet how to interview a professional. So they're going to cold call somebody that's in digital media, accounting, and whatever, and then they'll find out if they can set up a time to conduct an interview with the professionals. They can say it's part of what I do as far as preparing for college. And most of these professionals would love to be able to help out somebody that's young that just wants to pick their brain because they're being looked at as being very successful. So they'll go through those questions there. How long have you been in the field? Why did you decide the field? And the list goes on, and that helps them to build their network. Then we go through what is called college leveraging. So college leveraging is if you get an award letter from one school and another school wants you to come there and they send you an award letter, you can actually take all those award letters and write an appeal letter and actually use those award letters from other schools to get your primary school that you want to go to offer you more money. And so this school is Dartmouth University, and so one of our students was going to have to pay $56,000 a year to attend this college. $50,000 of that was coming from the parents' contribution, and $6,000 was coming actually from scholarships or work study. So they did that appeal process, used award letters to offset, to try to leverage it against the school, and they got that scholarship taken from $6,000 up to $34,000. So a parent's contribution went from $50,000 down to $22,000. So I'm not saying that this works every time, but if you don't try this, it will never work. So it's important for you to understand that if you don't understand that this is even a possibility, you'll never even take advantage of trying to leverage the school to get more money out of them. So that's what we do when it comes to the college leveraging piece. And then from there, we go through the SAGE, explaining that they get a $1,000 scholarship by being connected with you. We walk through that like we did in video number 1, and then we also go through the scholarship software where we actually have a flyer that you'll see if you decide to go through the 7-day trial, and you can explain the benefits through the flyer. In the beginning, it makes it easier because trying to demo that software like I do takes some time, and we actually have a webinar that we have for you once you go into becoming a member that walks you through the high points of actually how to look at your own demo account as a presentation account when you do your first appointment. So basically you see the value there. And then now what we do is we basically try to look at ourselves as doctors, okay? And so a doctor, when you come into their office, they have kind of like an intake form. And so they want to see if you got a headache, you know, how long have you had the headache, whatever. So we do an intake form, and this intake form kind of breaks down what's going on with them. So these are the questions that kind of set the stage. So if you just restating real quick, we've actually created value by the booklet. We showed them that we have a roadmap that's going to walk them through age 1 all the way through high school. Then we come back and say, now that they're a junior and senior high school, we go even deeper, and we go through endowments, we go through how to choose the right major, right career path, how to do interviews and build a network, and then we go through the SAGE, and then we also go through the software. So now they're like, man, this is a ton of value. So then you say, okay, now what I want to do is ask you some questions just to see if I can recommend you into this program. But you created so much value, now they don't have a problem answering these questions, okay? So the question number 1 is, what are your major concerns when it comes to college planning? Now what you're trying to do is get them to see that they have really not a clue how to go through this process, and they need the systems that you just got through going over up front. And so they'll tell you that. And then how do you plan on paying for college? Well, scholarships, and hopefully they can get a basketball or football athletically or whatever. And then do you have any systems in place right now to maximize or find scholarships? Normally they say no, or very few. And then how old will you be when your last child graduates from college? So I'm 44, my youngest child is 8, and so I'll be 58 years old by the time my last child graduates from college. So if I want to take that money that I have in my 401k and use it for college, I only have 7 years to recapture what anything I've taken out of that account. So that's the reason why we ask that question. Then we go through information about their students. So name, birthday, GPA, yada yada yada, class ranking, top 5 colleges, major, extracurricular activities, stuff like that. We always ask these questions because we can have that information put into the software when they're set up, but it also allows us to kind of be perceived as someone that's really there helping them to get more information about what they want to do as far as college. We're not going through a lot of questions about, do you have life insurance and how much money can you put? So we're just kind of going through the intake process, just taking that information in. And then from that point, we move over into more of the financial transitional questions, which is, do you know how much money you'll need to retire? So let's say $1 million, okay? And then I go into, great, well, having $1 million would be awesome, but it's not about how much money you have built up, but it's about how much money you're going to need coming in every month to pay your bills. And I ask them if they're smarter than a 5th grader. So do, what's 2 times 3 times 10 times 7 times 52 times 20? So then they say, well, let's have fun. Let's see if you can calculate that. So they get their calculator out on their phone. They do it. The number is 436,800. So what I say is that's 2 people eating 3 meals a day, $10 average meal cost, 7 days a week, 52 weeks a year, for 20 years in retirement. That's how much money you will spend just on food alone. So I get them to understand that being prepared for retirement is a lot more expensive than what they think. And then I go through and talk about the rule of 72. Do you understand that? Most of the time they don't. So then I'll draw out, 8 goes into 72 9 times. So that means that it would take, if I have an 8% return on my money, then my money would double every 9 years. So if you're 30 years old and you want to retire at age 60, then that means I'm going to have, 9 years times 3. So my money would double basically about 3 times from the time of my age of 30 to the time that I actually get ready to move into retirement. So if I have 100,000 would turn into 200,000. So that's, it doubled once. And then 200 would turn into 400, and 400 would turn into 800. And so I kind of use that as an example. I said, does that make sense? They said, yes. I was like, so do you know what kind of rate of return you're getting on your investment accounts? And how much time is going to take that money to double? A lot of times they look at you clueless, and you just, like a doctor, you just shake your head like, okay, no problem. I can help you go through that too, so you can see how much time it's going to take your money to double, and then how much money you can potentially have when you get to retirement. Do you know the difference between qualified versus non-qualified? Now, before I go through this, the only reason why I'm asking these questions is I'm trying to get them to, I'm trying to expose that there's a lot of stuff that they don't know, and they need somebody like myself that can help them understand what's going on in their financial situation. So they say, no, I don't know what qualified versus non-qualified is. If they say that, qualified is pre-tax money, meaning it goes into your, comes out of your check, pre-tax, goes into the investment account, and it's tax deferred. Non-qualified means taxes have already been paid, like Roth IRAs or 529s, what have you. Then I go through, do you understand the 3-leg retirement stool? Sometimes they say no. Well, the retirement was designed for you to have 3 income streams. Social Security, which I know we know about the threat of that. A pension, which a lot of companies don't offer that, but you can actually create your own pension. And then third is personal savings, which could be your 401k if you didn't convert it over into some kind of annuity, a CD, money market accounts, whatever you want to call it, right? But that third leg, the personal savings, is actually supposed to be your fund leg. Social Security and your pension, or your self-made pension, are there to actually cover your guaranteed expenses with guaranteed income. And your personal savings leg is where you can travel and enjoy your grandkids and things of that sort. So now I say, okay, what I want to do is see if there's anything that we possibly can help you out with in regards to some gaps or some suggestions that we can make to you in regards to your financial situation. So I'm going to ask you some financial questions, so when I come back with your software, login codes, and your Sage scholarship and your booklet, I can maybe give you some suggestions about things that we see that you can take advantage of financially. Would that be okay? Great. What's your adjusted gross income for 2017 or whatever year it is, right? What's your adjusted gross income for the year? Then we go into, or 2018, 2019, whatever year it is. What are your exemptions? What's your date of birth? I'm asking that for life insurance purposes. Current life insurance. Do you have life insurance on your job, or do you have life insurance outside your job? 401k. Do you have a previous 401k with another company that you did not roll over? Is just sitting kind of, we call it orphan 401k. So you want to find out about that. Then find out about their contributions. Do you put money into your 401k? What percentage? Okay, I put in 5%. How much do they match? Well, I put in 5%, but they don't match. Or I put in 10%, but they match 5. So if you see they put in more than the match, that may be more money that you can allocate towards investing in different areas that you may be able to recommend to them. Contributions, like what they have in there, and then also do they have any kind of college savings plan. And then lastly, if you don't have, or you wanted to beef up what you're going to save for college, how much could you commit, or how much could you start saving towards their college savings plan. So it just kind of walks them through how that works. I want to go through real quick a case study so you can kind of see that for one of the families. So let me jump here real quick. So this is one of the families that came in over a Saturday. And so basically the husband has income that is $275,000 a year. Wife makes $60,000. They have 2 exemptions claimed. Birthdays, $1 million life insurance policy. I have 401k that has $270,000. They contribute $18,000 a year, $25,000 in the college savings plan, and they want to save $1,000 a month, $12,000 a year, starting for college savings. So these are people that actually have pretty good income, and they're doing pretty good in regards to their assets that they've built up. Now, this is a situation. If you have a family that makes this kind of income, you know, over $300,000 a year as a family, they're not going to be able to put money into a Roth IRA. And so in the 529, they're going to put money in, but based upon the schools that they want to send their child to, that's not enough money saved. $25,000 probably wouldn't even cover a year for the school that they want to go to. So what can we suggest if they're willing to put $12,000 a year? Because any money that they put into a 529 is going to have to get disclosed on the FAFSA form, which is going to cause them not to qualify for all the financial aid that they can. So one of the tips that I went through with this family was I said, hey, do you have an after-tax 401k on your job? And he said, I don't know. I said, well, you need to know. And he said, why? I said, well, if you have an after-tax 401k and they allow you to do what is called an in-service distribution, then you can actually put money into your after-tax 401k, do an in-service distribution, and take those funds and backdoor it into a Roth IRA. By doing it into a Roth IRA, you can take the cost basis out, let the growth stay in the Roth IRA for retirement, but you can take the cost basis out and use those funds towards college, and you don't have to list those assets on the FAFSA form. When he heard that, he was like, wow, I never heard about that before. So there's some tips and tricks that you can use. We'll walk you through that as if you decide to become a member, that we can show you how to reposition people's assets. As long as you follow the rules in regards to taking money out of the Roth, and we'll go through that with you. But you talk to your own broker, dealer, or agency that you're with. But these are just some of the things that we use that can help you get these families to qualify for more money in financial aid and position you as an expert. Now, in order to get the referrals, we actually have a sheet that you can fill out, or if you have your Wi-Fi with you, when you're in this appointment, which we prefer you have that, so you can kind of walk through showing them the Sage like we did in the first video. You can walk through the highlights of the software once you go through the training, but in the beginning, your first 7-day trial period, just use our flyer just to get out there, because it makes it a lot easier. But on our website page, College Coaching Network, the things that we'll need is the student's name, birthday, email address, high school, graduation year, and that's student number 1. And then here for the parents, we'll need to have their name, birthday, email address, cell phone, and then you can say, hey, for every family that you refer, we need to have that today. We give you another $500 up to $2,000 total for each family, and we want to typically get 5 families to max you out at that $2,000 and get their name and phone number in that first appointment, and tell them when we send this in to get them set up with Sage, we have to have that up front in order for our processors to get everything keyed in at one time, because we have so many families, we don't like to go back and re-key in information down the road, so we need to get that up front in the initial meeting. So if you don't mind, if you have families that you think will benefit, even if they don't meet with us, but we have their name and phone number, we still credit your family an additional $2,000 for 5 names into the tuition rewards program, which would give them a total of $3,000 in scholarships. And then just hush and let them get their cell phone out and get to work. And that's where we're able to leverage out of a home 5 referrals for the appointments that we have. I've had people say, well, can you do more than 5? I said, well, yeah, I mean, we only give you 2,000, but we can do more than 5. And I had people literally give me 15, 12, 13, 15 referrals in one appointment. And you walk out of there and you meet 2 or 3 people in a day, and you see that you've got 15 to 20 referrals that you've built up just because of this program. So it definitely can work. It has worked, and it definitely can help you to get in front of more families. That's all you're looking for, is a way to get in front of the families, but you need to know how to use that opportunity of meeting them to transition that conversation into a financial planning conversation. So I'm grateful for you guys going through the preview. You'll see the last video number 3, and then if you want to move forward, feel free. We'd love to be able to kind of walk you through our 7-day training period so you can see behind the curtain of what we do. You can download the forums, the booklet, and all the things that we do in that capacity too. So again, thank you for the opportunity to serve you. Have a wonderful day.